How's it going, fellow Yu-Gi-Oh fans? I'm the one and only Glenn. Welcome to the channel. Boys and girls, today I am still very under the weather, but I wanted to give you all as much Yu-Gi-Oh content as I could for the time that I have. Now, I am moving house next week, so this will be the Thursday, the 26th of September, I'll be moving house. I don't know how much content I'll be able to bring out for the next couple of weeks, but I'll try my best to give you as much content as I can, so which is why we're doing as many deck profiles as I can uploaded on the channel. And if anyone does like the Detroit Become Human Let's Play series that they've seen on the channel, please go and check it out. Please smash that like button if you do enjoy it. They're 45-minute episodes per day, and I'd love people to get in on that also. So today's deck profile is going to be a Blue Eyes Mekk-Knight Invoked deck profile. Now, I've been playing this deck on Yu-Gi-Oh! Link Evolution on the new Nintendo Switch game, and I really do find this deck absolutely amazing. There's a lot of extension in the game, there's a lot of level 8s in the game. And basically this deck profile spans out so many monsters, and you can just go into so many of your extra deck plays. It plays through a lot of hand traps, so we'll get through into the deck profile and I'll show you what I mean and why I run them at my certain ratio. So we're going to start with the main card himself. We're running double Blue Eyes White Dragon, so let's zoom that in just a little bit. If I'm still sniffly through the video, I apologise now, but I'll try and be as quick as informative as possible. So double Blue Eyes White Dragon, self-explanatory. We're also running double alternative White Dragon. You can reveal Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand to special summon this card for free. Then we're running double Dragon Spirit of White. It's a level 8. It can come out at the end phase with using White Stone of Ancients, because it's always treated as a Blue Eyes card, so it's a Blue Eyes monster. When it is special summoned or normal summoned, you basically get to banish one problematic spell trap card that your opponent controls. Fantastic if you're facing the Sky Striker matchup. That is the main matchup that I've been facing more than anything lately. So I always want to banish the multi-roll so they cannot recur its play. Then we're running the double White Stone of Ancients. This is really good because you have cards like 1-for-1, you can use cards like Alistair and Invocation. So if you have Alistair on the field and you have this card in your hand and you use Invocation, you use this card, you use Alistair from grave, you banish it, the Alistair, you send this card to grave, you bring out Invoked Mekk-Knight, then at the end phase this card still goes off and it brings your Blue Eyes White Dragon out from your deck, or if you need it, then there will be a Dragon Spirit of White also. Then we're running the 1 Gamma Seal. Now this is for more like Invoked Mekk-Knight, so you give your opponent a Gamma Seal. You can always attack over this card, you're always going to have a monster more powerful than Gamma Seal. Then you use Invocation with the Gamma Seal, banish the Gamma Seal, then you can bring out Invoked Mekk-Knight because it is a water monster. I have really thought about this, so not only is it stopping your opponent's monsters, you can also get anything that you need out of it also. So that is my monster lineup for that. Like I said, we're running a few level 8s in the deck. You hardly ever brick either because you're still playing columns. So even if your opponent has a spell or trap card, then you just set one of your normal spell cards because you can still activate it. Then you can just slam down cards like Mekk-Knight Invoke Purple Nightfall, not Mekk-Knight Invoke, Mekk-Knight Purple Nightfall. So we're playing him at 3. So, like I said, you can special summon him if there's 2 cards in the same column. His effect is really good because if there's another Mekk-Knight monster on the field, or you can target himself, you can use his quick effect, target himself, then you can banish him until this your next standby phase. So you get to re-special summon him, but if you do that, you also get to add a Mekk-Knight monster from your deck to your hand. Most of the time we always add Mr. Blue Sky from Electric Light Orchestra. Now, props to anyone who actually knows that song because it's a fantastic song. This card, when special summon, allows you to add Mekk-Knight monsters with different names to the number of cards in your opponent's same column. So if your opponent controls 2, then you can bring 2 Mekk-Knight monsters with different names from your deck to your hand, which is why it's so good. Then we have 2 Mekk-Knight Indigo Eclipse. So this effect is really good because you can target he can target himself or another Mekk-Knight monster. His quick effect is to just change basically your column, so you can just bring out more Mekk-Knight monsters. And then dealing with problematic backboards, if it's a monster or a spell trap, these 2 are really good. 1 Red Moon and 1 Yellow Star, because one of their effects can go off. I mean, you can use both effects if you have both of them. All you need is a Mekk-Knight monster in your graveyard, so you can just use its effect to banish a Mekk-Knight monster in your graveyard. This one will destroy a monster in the same column. This one will destroy a spell and trap in the same column. So that is all the Mekk-Knight monsters I'm running. And then the invoked plays, we are just running triple Alistair. Really good, you know, it's a good combo starter. You can use it as your normal summon. Brings Invocation to your hand, and obviously you always need Call by the Grave in your hand because your opponent is most likely going to be Ash Blossoming this for definite, and it kind of just ends your turn sometimes. So you always want to make sure you're going second in this deck just to make sure that you get your Mekk-Knight plays live and off. Then we're going into our spell cards. So we are running triple Magical Meltdown. This is our combo starter. This brings Alistair the Invoker from your deck to your hand. Good thing about this card is any fusion summons that you want to do cannot be negated or stopped, and your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to your fusion summons. It's basically like Super Poly, but better in my opinion. Then we're running the 1 Terraforming, so we're basically essentially playing 4 Magical Meltdowns. So that is our field cards. We are running double Invocation. This card is recurred by itself, so once you fusion summon with this card, you bring back Alistair from your banished zone and you shuffle this card back into the deck, so really good recursion play. Then we are running the 1 Book of the Law, because this really helps with OTKs. So if you have Alistair the Invoker of Madness, you use Invocation, bring out a fusion monster below Alistair, you use Alistair the Invoker of Madness effect to discard a card, then you get to add Book of the Law from your deck to your hand, and you can just go off from there. And yeah, it's basically a lot of OTK plays. You can have a lot of recursion. You can end your turn with Alistair the Invoker of Madness with 2 Macabre if you wanted to. Depends on what you're facing. Draw power, double trading. Like I said, we're running a lot of level 8 targets in the deck, so it really doesn't matter. To help you bring those level 8s from your deck to your hand, we also are running double Melody of Awakening Dragon to always have a free Blue Eyes alternative White Dragon, so you can pop a problematic monster. Then we are running double Instant Fusion. Self-explanatory, you can bring out level 5 or lower extra deck monster cards like Million Eyes Restrict or 1000 Eyes Restrict or Invoked Kaliga or Invoked Raging, and they can just help you combo off from there and bring out your link plays. Then we run double Call by the Grave. I always find myself, like I said in my last deck profile, if anyone watched it, I always find myself finding myself going into 3 of these at all times. I don't know why I always draw 3, so I only play the 2 at the moment. Then we run double Pot of Desires. This doesn't conflict with the deck whatsoever. You're running a ton of multiple cards. And then we are running some Revival of World Legacy Succession. Most of the time you'll always have a link monster, and then you can bring back a monster that points to a link zone. 1 for 1, self-explanatory. So you can basically send one monster from your hand to the graveyard, doesn't matter which one. Even if it's Alistair the Invoker, it can still be triggered by Invocation Engraved, so you can banish Alistair and a light monster to bring out the Macabre. You can bring out cards like Whitestone of Ancients and then just go off from there even more. And then last but not least, we are running 3 traps in the deck. We're running double Infinite Impermanence because this is a going second deck. It was between this and Cyphering Gamma, but Gamma can be stopped, and there's, you know, your opponent can stop you from using monster effects, so impermanence can't really be touched unless they're playing Solemn Judgment. So you're basically forcing them to stop impermanence with that. And then we're running 1 World Legacy Secret, which can, when it's activated, you can target 1 level 5 or higher monster in your graveyard, special summon it. When this card leaves the field, you destroy the monster, but you don't use it for that. You can just use it to link off into anything else. Then we go into our extra deck. So for Alistair the Invoker, we run the 1 Solomon Grey Almirage. This is just for any monster whatsoever, so it's very nice to have any generic 2 monsters on the field for Cyframe Lord Lambda. We run Alistair the Invoker of Madness, which is what I go into most of the time. If I have more than 1 Mekk-Knight monster on the field, I'll always go into a Mekk-Knight of the Morning Star. Fantastic card. It protects you from battle also. Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos is amazing. It's a bit pricey at the moment, but it will go down once the hype is stopped. I don't think it ever will. And the 1 Borisol Dragon if I ever want to go into more OTK play. So that is my link cards. Then we got our instant fusion target of Millennium Eyes Restrict. This is also quite a pricey card, but you can always go into 1000 Eyes Restrict if you want to. There's also Invoked Raging, Invoked Kaliga, Invoked Cocytus, and double Invoked Macabre, which is your main go-to card. If you have 2 of these, you can activate both effects, so 1 per Macabre, and you can just stop anything that your opponent activates, spell, monster or trap, or by sending the same type of card from your hand to the graveyard, and it gets to negate the activation and banish that card. We are running 1 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. This really helps because, first of all, during either player's turn, when a card or effect in the graveyard is activated, you can negate the activation. That's number 1. You can actually tribute this card, but we don't actually use it for that. But it really does For me, if I'm playing this card, if I know my opponent is special summoning more than 2 monsters, this basically just says, it's like a summon limit, so you basically can't special summon more than 2 monsters per turn, so it's absolutely fantastic that you play Blue Eye Spirit Dragon. And last but not least, Galaxy Eye Cypher Dragon, which will take your opponent's monster, then overlay into Galaxy Eye's Full Armor Photon Dragon. This card, when detaching a material once per turn, can destroy 1 face-up monster or a card on the field. Spell or trap also does not matter. Then we have our side deck, which really hasn't changed because we're still running these kind of decks at our locals and regionals. So we're running double Raw Sphere mode in this deck, triple Mind Control, all self-explanatory now, as I said in all my other deck profiles if you've watched them. Triple Dark Ruler No More for combo boards. Back row hate is Twin Twisters. There's kind of conflicts with the deck, but if you're against Sky Strikers, your monsters are just going to beat over them, so you don't really need to care about your spell cards that you're running. So, because you're running a lot of high-level monsters, you're just going to beat over them, and Imperial Order is one of those cards that will shut Sky Strikers down immediately. Then we're running double Solemn Strike, and last but not least, double Solemn Judgment. So boys and girls, that is my deck profile. Hopefully you found that somewhat informative. Like I said, I will be away after next week, but only for a short time, and I'll bring more content to the channel, live streams, gameplays, and Yu-Gi-Oh content for all you Yu-Gi-Oh fans. I hope you liked that deck profile. Please smash that like button. I'm still very much unwell, as you can hear. My voice is going. I've got a runny nose, so I do apologise for that still. So I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day, everyone. Peace.